Welcome guys to another Kengan Omega What If battle. Today we have Tokita Ohma vs Kanoh Agito, the fifth Fang of Metsudo. Today we're going to be covering 3 battles. Before the tournament of Annihilation tournament started, during the Annihilation tournament or late Annihilation tournament, and then current chapter 60 Kengan Omega if they were to fight. I'm going to go over those 3 fights and see who would come out on top on all 3 of them. But first I'll go over each of their skills one by one. And make sure if you enjoy my Kengan content to subscribe, and if you want to talk more about his greatness, make sure to join the Discord. The link is in the description. Now, I hope you enjoy. So let's start with Kanoh Agito, the 5th Fang of Metsudo. His current age is unknown, but you can assume he's either late 30s or 40 years old, or maybe even early 30s, around that range. His Kengan wins is 160, and Kengan losses is 1, where he was defeated in the semi-finals against Kuroki Gensai, the almighty beard. I'll go over his role in Omega. Since the 2 time skip from pretty much Ashura to Omega, he's been pretty much in exile in America, being, a biker boy. We don't know of any extra training that he's done since then. Or we know that he only came back pretty much to join Team Kengan to fight against Purgatory, as he found that the 6th Fang of Metsudo is participating on Purgatory's side after betraying their master Metsudo and pretty much clowning him, so he's coming back to get revenge for pretty much the 6th Metsudo's betrayal of Metsudo himself. I'll go over his power and ability. So Kanoh Agito is one of the strongest, top 3 strongest in the series easily, is an incredibly powerful all-round fighter who's known as the Emperor of the Kengan matches. He possesses immense physical stats on top of nearly unmatched fighting capabilities. He tends to try and mimic or copy people's pretty much moves when he's fighting them or their fighting style and beat them at their own game. He also has a technique known as Evolve, where he's able to evolve mid-fight, and that's what makes him strong. He did that many times during the Annihilation tournament, most notably against Kuroki Gensai and Gaolang, 2 of the best fights in the series, where pretty much Kanoh evolved during the fight to get stronger than what he was prior to starting the fight, and other stuff where he was able to just get stronger and stronger. And he also has a technique known as Formless Style, with his martial arts enabling him to perform pretty much formless techniques that can't be pretty much read or can't be used. People can't use foresight to pretty much understand what's going on there or read what's going on. So it's an advantage that he has, as well as being pretty much a master in many other martial arts. He has defeated the likes of Wakatsuki, Hatsume, and many others throughout his days of fighting. His name technique, or one of his other techniques, is called Dragon Shot, a variation of the one-in punch using the principle of Fa Jin. Agito is capable of delivering a full power blows at nearly no distance, effectively means of striking. This is one of his strongest techniques. And he also has a technique known as Indestructible, which is somewhat similar to Tokita Nico's Nico style technique Indestructible. He's able to pretty much make himself as hard as steel in some regard to that. And just the ability of him able to develop and get stronger during the fight is his biggest asset. It's also good to mention he has like some type of personality disorder where he has multiple personalities within himself, with the former style bringing out a new personality when he uses that, and so on. So now I'll go on to our boy Tokita Ohma. So Tokita Ohma, the protagonist of Kengan Ashura and sub-protagonist of Omega currently, also known as the Ashura. His age is unknown, but you can predict that he ages in his late 20s, or assume he's aged in his late 20s. His Kengan wins is 7 and Kengan losses is 1, where he was also defeated by Kuroki Gensai in the final of the Kengan tournament. They're both fighting against Purgatory in the current tournament that's going on. They both haven't had their battle yet at the recording of this video, but they're going to be hyped. As we know, he was thought to be dead at the end of Ashura, where his pretty much heart stopped working, but we recently found out in Omega chapters that he got a heart transplant that saved his life. And then during the 2 years time skip, he spent like 1 year pretty much healing, getting used to his new heart, and then 1 year after that pretty much training with Kure members, getting a hold of his advance. And we've shown that he's able to control his advance somewhat without any major drawbacks, as we saw him take out many of the worm member with Kure Rayan. Now onto his power and abilities. Tokita Ohma, in my opinion, top 3 fighter in the Kenganverse currently as well, so that's good to note. His primary techniques is the Nico style, where he's able to pretty much use all the techniques such as Indestructible, Iron Breaker, Iron Fingers, Bone Binding, and then like all the katas, Flame Kata, Redirection Kata, Water Kata, Need Kata, and then he can combine these katas to use techniques such as Iron Breaker Revolution, Swimming Swallow, and so on. And he also has secret techniques, the ultimate pretty much attack technique, which is Demon's Bane, which is extremely strong, and another technique where it's very unique to him or only unique to him, which is his advance, which is similar to the Kure clan's removal technique. He gets all his pretty much stats or physical attributes boosted up with a risk of shortening his life and putting a lot of pressure on his heart and the rest of his body. Now to go over their 3 possible fights, I'll start off with prior to Tokita Ohma getting his memory back and remember everything for the Nico style. So at this point, it was shown during the the anime and manga that when Tokita Ohma, prior to getting his memory back, pretty much walked up to Kanoh Agito after the Okibo fight and pretty much talked some shit. Kanoh Agito, I don't know, just kicked him and he wasn't able to dodge or really block it and got smashed into the wall. It's shown in the opening of my videos. If you see there, if you want to check that out, or if you probably watched it, you should watch it. Fire intros, gotta love those. Pretty much checked out. He just comes out of nowhere, kicks him. So it shows that prior to Tokita Ohma getting his memory back, in my opinion, he would most likely get stomped, not stunned, maybe a 50%, 60% destruction from Kanoh Agito, and that's probably to the death as well. So prior to memories back, before Kengan Annihilation Tournament, I think Tokita Ohma would get pretty much bodied by Kanoh Agito, even if he doesn't use all his techniques or evolve that much during the fight. I just don't think he's any match for it before he gets his memories and full Nico style techniques back. That's pretty simple. I hope most of you can agree with that. If you can't agree with that, I don't know what's wrong with you. Now to the second fight. So we'll say a full health, pretty much good, not full health, a full non-injured both people to fight in the final, so they weren't, so not after they both got like fucked up by the beard, but we'll go with fully evolved Agito, so after Galang fight against Tokita Ohma after Cosmo fight, if they were to fight together. So in my opinion, at this point in the Annihilation fight, you have to look at who performed better against Kuroki Gensai, and I have to say Kanoh Agito performed better against Kuroki Gensai in their fight, with Kuroki Gensai giving both of them a lot of respect throughout the fight. But it just shows that if you look at the fights at face value, you can see that Kanoh Agito did more damage to Kuroki Gensai and pretty much took more damage from it and performed better. You could say that's mainly due to Tokita Ohma's injury against Wakatsuki, Cosmo, everyone else like that. He had to take out Kiryu prior to that and everything else that went into that. But you have to remember Kanoh Agito also took out another Fang to hold his position as the representative for Matsuda during the tournament, mid-fight as well, showing he's able to evolve. And just based on their fights alone, Tokita Ohma got pretty much a little bit more hard countered by Kuroki Gensai, with him having a lot of knowledge of his techniques, of the Nico style, of being aware of Nico style and being friends with the founder of the Nico style. So you have to take that into account as well. But as a whole, two fights, Kanoh Agito performed better against Beard, but does that mean he'll perform better against Tokita Ohma? I think thanks to the drawbacks Tokita Ohma has from his advance during the time in Ashura, I think that would give pretty much Kanoh Agito an advantage, and he has pretty insane endurance as well and ability to take damage. They both do, but Kanoh Agito is pretty much just an absolute monster, and how much he can even evolve as well is just insanity. So if they were to go to battle at that stage, I think Kanoh Agito would come out on top. The fifth Fang would win the battle against Tokita Ohma if they were to fight in the final, if Kuroki Gensai wasn't in the tournament at all. That's what I think would happen, and that's mainly due to the drawbacks of the advance, because Tokita Ohma will need to use the advance to pretty much counter him. He could maybe get lucky with his pretty much ultimate technique, Demon's Bane, but still I'd have to give it to Kanoh Agito during the Annihilation tournament landscape of the Kengan verse. So there you go. And now on to the last what if battle, current Kengan Mega chapter 59, chapter 60, if Prime pretty much purgatory fighting, if they were to fight now. So in my opinion, I think I did a ranking of all the like strongest to weakest for Team Kengan. I did that for Team Purgatory if you haven't seen those videos. And for that video, I gave Kanoh Agito second and Tokita Ohma first. So this is what I think. Thanks to his new heart and able to use the advance, and how he seems more pretty much calm, relaxed, and the ability to use his Nico styles without relying on the advance and going absolutely insane, which leaving him to take unneeded damage. With him being more calm, relaxed, having a heart that can handle his advance and not have his body break down from inside mid-battle, would probably give Tokita Ohma advantage. And the fact that he's been training for 1 year with the Kure clan pretty much mostly probably every day, he'll show to take on 3-on-1 against the Kure members and actually win against them. And in my opinion, shown with his fight against the Worm that he's able to pretty much take out people with ease without any real strain on his body when using the advance, which will give him a real advantage. And that Kanoh Agito may be a little bit stronger than what he was during the Annihilation tournament, with him maybe being more calm as well, not having to deal with his like insanity mental force with him changing personality and all that damage it has on his body. But just based on that, I think Kanoh Agito is a little bit stronger, with Tokita Ohma having a lot more strength and capacity and endurance to withstand a fight with Kanoh Agito now with his new heart. So with that alone, I think Tokita Ohma would win the fight currently in Omega, as Tokita Ohma is the strongest in Team Kengan currently, and I think he would win against Kanoh Agito in a fight if that were to happen now. But while saying that, you need to remember what Kanoh Agito said during the Annihilation trip when he was defeated by Beard, saying he would get stronger, so he could very well have pretty much trained even harder during those 2 years, with him having 2 years compared to 1 year, as Ohma had to have 1 year of pretty much recovery after getting a new heart, you know, because not every day you get a new heart and just like recover like that. So 1 year of recovery, 1 year of training, with possible Kanoh Agito 2 years of recovery recovery, but I don't think he went through all those years of just pretty much fighting 160 Kengan wins until he lost against Beard. So I think Kanoh Agito most likely relaxed a lot during those 2 years instead of fighting, and with that, with Ohma getting his new heart, being more relaxed, being more calm, being more pretty much analytical towards battle, I think he will take the dub for that. Let me know if you agree with me. Do you think Kanoh Agito wins the first 2 I mentioned and win or loses the third, or do you think it's otherwise? Let me know in the comments what you think about these 3 battles and which one will win out of all 3. We can all say that for the first battle, prior Kengan Annihilation or prior memories back for Ohma, Kanoh Agito would win, but it's still up in the air for the other 2. So let me know what you think down in the comments, and if you want to talk about it, make sure to join the Discord. And yep, that's it guys. Let me know what character you want me to cover next. I got this from the last video, as I said in many other comments and many other what if battles. I get the next what if battle from the comments, the most commented or the most liked comment from that, and I'll do that in the next one. And stay tuned for the chapter 60 review later today. And that's it guys. Peace.